Hello, you fantastic people. Welcome back to Borderlands 3. That shotgun over there, the GARCIA shotgun, got buffed on Thursday, so I thought, why not? We throw together a quick build video for your faces if you guys want to try it out for yourselves. This is how to get a huge amount of damage out of this shotgun. It is a mobbing and bossing build as well. It's primarily going to be shining in the mobbing situations like the Mayhem takedown, because those chain shots absolutely obliterate all the things. As usual, I'll start showing some clips on screen so you guys can see how much damage this thing does post buff on a Thursday. It's kind of ridiculous. It one-dinks most of the things in the melee one takedown, which is really cool, but also kind of weird. A bit of a throwback to last March, actually, is when this shotgun got its original buff. If you've been around the game that long, then you remember. If not, the way this gun used to work, huge magazine size, super fast fire rate, and you just sprayed it like crazy. It was back when the purple stagecoach used to be the meta on all flak builds. You had a stagecoach for one-shotting things, and if you want to switch to the GARCIA, it was your backup shotgun, and you just sprayed down the entire field because you had 30 rounds in the mag, and why the heck not? When you have pretty much as fast as you can pull the trigger, it will fire the shots. Now, the GARCIA got changed and sadly very much dropped off the radar in flak builds. It has this two-pump action thing, which I personally very much dislike and would love if Gearbox took that away, because it really slows down and makes the gun kind of clunky. But they've changed how the gun works now. Rather than it be a spray down, bit of a lower damage one compared to the one dinkers like now the Hellwalker or what the Stagecoach used to be. Now with Thursday's buff, it does so much damage, it 1 to 2 shots every enemy in the melee one takedown. So they've completely changed how the gun works. It went from the spray down every enemy kind of shotgun to pretty much just the Robin's Coal, but 3 to 4 times as strong. And the clips you're seeing on screen actually aren't the best roll you can get. I've only got a times 12 version. You can get a times 16 version, which if you get that absolute god roll, it's very close to the same damage numbers that you can get on a Hellwalker. Which, if I didn't already mention, that's in a gun with 30 rounds in the magazine, not one. So yeah, huge potential with this build. If you guys want to take it even further, you can farm out the perfect roll if you guys want. You can get this one from Chunk Stomp. He's in Floodmore Basin. He's the crew challenge boss there if you guys want to farm it out. The anointments I would recommend, I'm using 100% ASE because I'm using a 3-shot fadeaway build. You guys can go for consecutive hits, URAD being 150% bonus radiation under 50% health if you guys want to rock one of those. It is slightly less survivable than the build that I'm rocking though if you use URAD. Or you guys could go next to Mag's bonus elemental damage. That would actually be really good for this gun because you can't get elemental types on it. So if you want to be a bit more effective against your particular farm, so bonus fire against Gravewood, bonus corrosive against Wotan, and so on. But yeah, hopefully the clips are doing the build justice on screen. Like I said, primarily a mobbing build because those ricochet pellets are doing huge amounts of damage in things like the melee one takedown for room clearing. It's very good at bossing as well. The only thing that's slowing down at those boss farm kills is that really annoying 2-shot pump action thing they have going on nowadays. But if they took that away, this gun would be absolutely goated. Please, Gearbox, that'd be really cool. Now, as for the version you guys want to go for, I have a times 16 and a times 12 here. The times 12 with an anointment is going to work out better for me. But you guys want to try and get the 14,000 damage number with the times 16 pellets if you can. That's the perfect roll if you guys want to go for the very best build. As for the rest of the stuff, accuracy, reload time, fire rate, and magazine size generally is all around the same. But just to compare against the Robin's Coal, that's how much stronger this buff is. It's at least 3 times as strong as a Robin's Coal. As for the gear you guys want to rock, if you guys are going at bossing situations, go for Old Gods. I know they're super difficult to get your hands on, but if you can, they're going to be the best options. Other than that, the trusty Stopgap or Transformer is a great base shield to go for. You can get them very easily from vending machines. If you guys want to change up to Rack Attack, you can very easily do that with this build. I'm rocking 3-shot fadeaway, but with most fadeaway builds, you can switch to Rack Attack pretty easily. If you want to do that, the Frozen Heart is my favorite shield for those situations. You can switch to that as well. Another really good option, if you guys do have Arms Race, the Beskar shield is fantastic. That 100% chance to reflect projectiles while shielded and a 50% damage reduction while shielded on top of that is ridiculous. Don't even look at the capacity being slightly lower than an Old God. With that much reflect ability in the melee one takedown, you're very rarely going to break your shield. It's a very good one to have if you guys can get your hands on that one. As for Grenade, Hunter Seekers all the way with flak for pretty much every build ever because it is just fantastic at stacking up your kill skills. It does a ton of damage now itself as well. And for the anointment, go for an action skill and elemental type. Stack that with a different kind of elemental type on your shield. That's going to be really important for the Garcia as well if you guys want to be primarily effective against whatever you're fighting. So for Wotan, try and stack radiation and corrosive or shock and corrosive. Just try and be really effective with those elemental ASCs. As for class mod, go for a bounty hunter. Other two options, I did try out Stackbot. I'm pretty sure it's still bugged with pet resetting its stacks, but if you want to use it, it does still do a ton of damage. Another option being the Stalker. All three of those honestly do a really good amount of damage. It just depends what passive numbers you have at the bottom there. So if you guys get a god roll like I have on the left hand side, the weapon crit, Jacob's weapon crit, and shotgun damage is an absolute perfect roll. If you can get any of those, anything close to that, you're going to be doing heaps and heaps of damage. As for the artifact, the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge is going to be the best option because you're going to stack it really quick with multi-pellet shotguns. If you guys don't have DLC 2, don't stress. You guys can go for a Snowdrift Victory Rush. That's going to be really good. You'll be able to zoom around really quick, which is good for survivability. And Victory Rush does a decent amount of damage as well. Try and get some good passes on there if you can. Another option, Snowdrift Idle Idle if you need more survivability. Now, as for Mayhem modifiers, I use Mayhem 11 because I don't want to bother re-rolling every time I do a build. But if you guys are rocking Mayhem 10 still, very hard modifier, I would recommend Holy Crit for fadeaway builds or body system, up to you guys. As for hard modifier and medium modifier, I always recommend Drone Ranger and Healy Avenger. They're super neutral. Flak does too much damage. They'll just one-shot everything. Nothing will have a chance to regen health from either of those two. So they're pretty much just non-existent modifiers. As for an easy modifier, honestly, rock whatever you guys like. I generally use Speed Demon to zip through takedowns really quick, or Big Kick Energy. Does mess up your accuracy a little bit, but you do get bonus gun damage as a payoff for that. As a skill tree, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. It's generally pretty on par with what my regular builds are. If you guys want full in-depth build guides, there's plenty of them on the channel. You can check them out there, or they're linked in the description for a full playlist. Here is Blue Tree, just standard going down to getting 5 points in Frenzy. That's a huge amount of damage you want to get. As for Red Tree, the only real changes we changed up for this build in particular, we took a point out of Leave No Trace because there's such a huge mag size in the Garcia, you don't really need it. Honestly, I'd put no points in there. If you guys want to use either of these two for any particular reason, you're more than welcome to do it. You don't need the extra bullets, but I put 2 points in there because you do need to get further down the tree. Two Fang, not useful for shotguns with multi-pellets, so we skip down. Put 3 points big game, 3 points most dangerous game. Try and get as many points in most dangerous game from your class font. That'll really help out your damage. Then we put the extra 3 in Grim Harvest. Gets an extra bit of gun damage, action skill damage if you guys are switching to rack attack, and or pet damage. That's really useful for that as well. That's the only real changes in the Red Tree there. And then for Green Tree, we do change up a little bit. I tested a few different things. Still Furious Attack, but no Overclocked. I usually put Overclock in all my builds, but because they have that stupid 2-shot pump action trash, the fire rate doesn't help you at all. So don't put points in there. It's a waste of time. Put as many points as you can into Eager to Impress. It'll really help your damage by being able to loop 3-shot fadeaway as quickly as possible, or just have rack attacks endlessly if you guys are rocking rack attack. I put the extra 3 points I had to get further down later on in self-repairing system. Honestly, you can put them wherever you want. I just generally don't use attack command, and I don't usually play with other people. So these two are useless to me. Up to you guys where you want to put those otherwise. The rest of the tree, totally normal. Turn tail and run. Lick the wounds if you guys want to get revived by your pet in stupid situations when you're down from barrels. Fast and the Furious, very simple. Hidden Machine works really well when you guys are using the Not My Circus Augment and Fadeaway, because Pet is going to be taunting people and or you're going to be in Fadeaway. So not many enemies are going to be able to see you. You're going to get bonus 30% damage from that there. Of course, always put Unblinking Eye. Critical hits successfully get more and more damage. It's very, very nice. And then put the Power inside for an extra 50% damage if you guys are at full health when you go into Fadeaway. And because you're looping that so quickly, so often, you're pretty much going to have that ability all the time. As for pets, if you guys have seen my builds before, you'll know that the Gunslinger Jabber is the best one to use for bossing situations. He has a gun, he's a ranged pet, and stacks Frenzy as quickly as possible. I also use him in the Wotan fight because, again, he's ranged and doesn't get curb stomped by Wotan like all the other ones do. If you guys are in mobbing situations, though, the ones I would recommend would be the Great Horned Skag for the Garcia, because it's not an elemental one. Generally, we use the Spider Ant Scorcher because we're not using an elemental weapon. It is totally wasted there. So the Great Horned Skag is really good. It is an extra 5% damage and an extra 10% gun damage. Plus, when you're using He Bites, it's going to stack Frenzy in mobbing situations very easily because he's going to be taunting everyone for you. And that is everything I have for the Garcia build. I really hope you guys found that video helpful or enjoyable. If you did, don't forget to smash subscribe down below totally free, helps me out a bunch, and we're super close to 20,000 subs, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for that. If you guys have any suggestions for future builds or any challenge builds you guys want me to make, feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below. Other than that, we have a Twitch we stream to every night, and we also have a Discord with awesome people. And other than that, I'll see you guys next video and I'll live stream. Till then, adios.